Howdy. We've been ranching cattle in Montana for 30 years. On a 2,000-acre spread, we raise top-notch Angus beef. Life's typically quiet and simple. Recently, though, we've had troubling events on the ranch. A few months ago, while checking the herd, I found a dead cow in the pasture. Initially, I suspected a predator, but closer inspection revealed a gruesome scene. The cow was mutilated. Parts were cut out. These were very neat, clean cuts. No blood was present, which unnerved me. I've seen my share of dead animals, but never anything like this. I was puzzled and a bit scared. Who or what could be responsible? After the initial incident, things worsened. Every few weeks, another cow would be found mutilated in the same eerie manner. Eyes, tongues, and other parts were missing. Surgical cuts, no blood. This pattern extended to the neighboring farms, leaving us all terrified and questioning. In all, only 4 farms were affected. My neighbors and I speculated about everything from cult activity to government experiments. One even mentioned aliens, though at first the rest of us dismissed the latter as absurd. Despite vigilant nighttime surveillance, no culprit could be found. We became fearful. It felt like we were being watched. One morning, after finding another cow mutilated, I noticed strange marks around the carcass. Odd patterns in the dirt, not hoof prints or tire tracks. Nearby, some sticky substance on the ground, strange color, almost glowing. I couldn't recognize it from the farm. The sheriff took samples, but no word back. The whole thing was getting very weird. We were feeling helpless, unable to explain or protect our livestock. One night, it got stranger. Out checking on the animals, I saw unusual lights in the sky. Not like stars or planes. They moved oddly, changing colors. Strange sounds followed, starting as a low electrical hum, then louder and unsettling. Not familiar machinery or animals. Felt like it came from everywhere, making my neck hairs stand up. I tried following lights and sounds, but they kept moving, like a game. I couldn't figure it out, and it left me uneasy. My farm felt unfamiliar. I couldn't shake what I'd seen and heard. I was consumed by my thoughts day and night. I simply had to uncover the truth. I stayed up late, watched the skies, walked the fields for clues. My neighbors resigned to the phenomena and said I should do the same, but I couldn't. My farm was getting hit at a much higher rate than theirs. Each of them had only lost 1 cow by the time I lost 4. The sheriff advised me to focus on ranching, but I refused to let it go. I felt he was not doing his job. This was my livelihood. I needed answers. I set up cameras and motion sensors, but they only captured mundane activity and sometimes static. One night, everything changed. The lights appeared brighter and closer. I felt a strange pull, compelled to investigate. This time it was hovering very close to my house. Against my better judgment, I approached it. Suddenly, everything went dark. I felt a cold grip on my body, like invisible hands holding me tight. I couldn't move or shout. The next thing I knew, I was inside some kind of room. It was filled with bright lights and strange noises. I couldn't understand what was happening, but I could feel a presence all around me. I saw figures moving, but they didn't look human. They were tall and thin with big, dark eyes. I couldn't speak or move, just watch in horror as they did things I can't even describe. At some point, I passed out. When I came to, I was lying on the ground, on a field somewhere on a neighbor's farm. It felt like I'd been gone for hours, but it was still the middle of the night. My watch was broken, and my head was pounding. I was terrified and confused. My body ached all over and my mind was racing. I knew I had been taken by something beyond this world, and I didn't know if I'd ever be the same again. I stumbled back to my house, my mind racing. My wife was frantic, saying I'd been gone for hours. She wanted to call the sheriff, but what could I say? That I'd been taken by aliens? Who would believe that? Days went by, and I tried to piece together what happened. But my memories were jumbled, like a bad dream I couldn't quite remember. There were flashes of light, strange faces, and cold metal tables. I knew something terrible had happened, but it was like trying to remember smoke. I tried to go back to my normal life, but nothing felt the same. I kept looking over my shoulder, afraid they'd come back. After my abduction, the cattle mutilations stopped, but the fear didn't. I still don't know the reason they took me, the things they did to me. I don't know if they have taken anyone else from around here. I'm too ashamed to mention it to anyone. I'll never forget that night. I just hope sharing my story helps someone else. Maybe if enough of us speak out, we can figure out what's really going on. Regards, Anonymous. If you value this story, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us.